question is, how often should you have your home inspected for pests? It kind of depends on the pest, kind of depends on the season. If we're talking about termites, you should have your home inspected at least once a year. But if you're talking about other insects or other rodents, it may depend on the weather. For example, when the weather first starts turning cold at the beginning of the winter, that's when our telephone starts ringing off the hook with people saying, I'm starting to see mice in my house. It's because those mice or rodents have been living outdoors, they've been eating outdoors. Well, all of a sudden the weather's getting cold and they don't like the cold any more than you do, so they're looking for a warm place to spend the winter, and your house is there. We also see changes when the weather changes with moisture. So maybe during a very, very dry season, you'll find ants and roaches, outdoor insects moving indoors, whereas when it is wet, they may initially move outdoors because things are more plentiful outside for there to get into. They like dark, moist, damp places that they can stay. But if there's too much rain, again, they start looking for a place to go. I remember a number of years ago, we had a horrible, horrible tropical storm that dropped dozens and dozens of inches of rain in a couple of day period. That was the biggest year for our company on termites, and I contend that termites who live underground and come up into the structure to eat the wood were literally forced to buy a rising water table up into the house. I've never been able to prove that, and I've talked to some scientists, and they said it makes sense, but we haven't figured out a way to prove it yet. But the moisture can make a huge difference. Is it too hot? Is it too dry? Is it too wet? Is it too cold? So I would suggest that you need to have your home inspected for wood-destroying insects at least once a year. If you hire a professional pest control operator, I would recommend that in most cases, quarterly pest control is going to take good care of your home. It's going to keep the pests out because most of the products we use will last about 3 to 4 months. And if we do a good job outside and keep those insects from going in, we don't even have to treat inside the house because we've built a good chemical barrier around the outside.